I have really high pattern recognition, and I noticed something, and I made some notes, and I want to share it with you because I have a lot of shame around my trauma. I have big T trauma, little t trauma, and it comes with a lot of shame. So, if you have any kind of shame, if you have any kind of hard time, I hope this makes you feel better, okay? In the pattern, I've noticed that trauma causes spiritual awakenings, and there is a correlation, okay? From a symbolic point of view, trauma acts like a rupture, breaking the illusion that reality is safe, solid, and linear. Because you're going through so much and you're still surviving, and you shouldn't be, right? Because your nervous system is telling you that you're not supposed to be surviving, and yet you do. That rupture becomes a doorway. Once you've survived what should have broken you, you're no longer hypnotized by the rules. That's why people that have a hard beginning, that have a lot of rejection, that have to continue to go, they don't play by the rules anymore because they know their way around them. And it's as if you've been burned out of the default matrix and now you can see the scaffolding that's behind it. That awareness feels very spiritual because it is. You are perceiving reality as it really is, from the quantum or the matrix or whatever you want to call it. You're perceiving it now because you've been through so much that it cracks you wide open. From the quantum lens, the trauma splits the observer. Before trauma, the observer is mostly fused with its identity and the environment. During the trauma, the observer detaches for protection, disassociation, and fragmentation. After trauma, the observer is watching from the outside field, now separate from the self that experienced the event, and this disassociation creates the observer consciousness, the ability to see from a higher vantage point, and that is the birthplace of spiritual awareness. So, in other words, trauma involuntarily bootstraps the same thing meditation tries to train and creates a space between the stimulus and response, the identity and the observer, the ego and the soul. And that space, while it's painful, it brings clarity and it wakes you up. So if you've had a hard life, own it. Remember who you are. You are source consciousness, whatever you want to call it, God, anything you want to call it, having a human experience, and you create everything yourself. And the only thing that's keeping you stuck is yourself because you are playing by these rules that you created. From the time you are born to the time that you pass on, you have all this stimulus from the outside world, and you have all these rules and regulations that you have to follow. And if you don't, the physical world gets hard. And the physical world gets hard because you think you have no control. But you do. You absolutely do. You created in the quantum. You have to remember your source consciousness and you have to reprogram your mind saying, I am source consciousness. I have the power and I am going to change it. And I'm going to change it by slowing my nervous system down, by doing the breath work, by saying good things to myself, by not letting my thoughts go haywire and create realities that I don't want to experience because those limit your frequency. We are born with this frequency of love, and that attracts anything you want. Anything. But all the rules come in, and all the control comes in, and you don't feel like you can do it. But you absolutely can. Those are your rules. They're your rules. You just have to remember you're the one making the rules, playing the game. Everything happens in quantum or in spirit before it becomes matter or flesh. You're the one creating it. And as soon as you can slow your nervous system down, you open up your focus. Because fear is what drives the nervous system. And fear comes from your stimulus that you experienced in the hard reality. So when You have the fear. It narrows your focus to safety. And so you miss out on all the decisions and all the realities and possibilities that you could have. And you make a choice based on such a small, minute amount of information. But if you know who you are and you walk with that power and you own your trauma and you own your strength because it opened up your mind, then you can change your reality. You can have whatever you want and you can do whatever you want. I mean, you have to look at all these people. I've done so much studying. These people like Mariska Hargitay's mom, her husband came from Hungary, dirt poor, and then became Mr. Universe here in the United States. Okay? That's just a small example, but there are so many. And these people knew they had the strength, knew they had the power, came from nothing, and then rose to the top because they believed in themselves. And believing in yourself is only a little part of it. If you actually walk with the knowledge that you are source consciousness, having a human experience, and you can say, no, I don't need that medication. No, I don't need that thought. No, I don't need this. I am in control. As soon as you really believe that, and as soon as you really believe that, you can start commanding reality to change. In the Bible, it says, command thou me. I grew up with Christianity, so I have a lot of references to that. But you can see it in every single esoteric text. It is us leaving behind manuals and clues for us to play the game. Because not only are we creating the rules that leave us with no choice or make us feel like we have no choice, but we are also giving ourselves clues and we are also giving ourselves help. So remember, if you come from trauma, baby, you got an upgrade. It doesn't feel like it. And the programming makes you feel like you have no choice. The programming makes you feel shame. The things you did make you feel shame. And you've got to change it. Do you know why? Because in the consensus reality that we are all living in, the more of us that raise our frequency above shame and guilt to love and freedom, we will all be free. And we are raising our consciousness. And the more people that can let go of the physical and understand that they are worthy of love, they are worthy of everything they want, and that the mistakes that they made were because of the trauma that they experienced. It's part of it. You learned, you grew, and now you can do something with it. So stop shaming yourself, stop doing the guilt, and start telling yourself good things. And remember who you are.